What up, y'all? It's your boy Ben here. We're back at it again with another Pokemon video with the extra dimensional crises out and about for us all. We have to wait just until Thursday for us to be able to get it, and I'm excited to see not only the new 17 or 18 cards that we saw in the trailer, but the rest of the cards that fill out to be over 100 cards of new trainers, new Pokemon, hopefully some new items, some Pokemon tools, you know, who knows, but I'd be very excited to see. So as you can see, that's right over here. I kind of want to throw in some other cards that weren't really shown in the trailer that would be really cool to be able to see in this set. So let's go ahead and start things off with this Dusk Main Necrozema, and I think it goes to say this Dawn Wings Necrozema as well would be really cool. In the standard, I mean, first and foremost, Ultra Beast, we don't have all of the X's yet, right? Like, we have a, oh, actually, we can just tell you right now. We have Guzzlord as an EX, we have Tapu Koko as an EX, and then there's, we have the Ultra Necrozema EX, but this is a promo, so it's not in the main set just quite yet. So that's, and Buzzwole, so 1, 2, 3, so there's potentially room for 2 more. Maybe they just include 10, who knows, but I literally hope that's not the case, but there's room for 2 more. And so, like, why not the Dusk Main and the Dawn Wings? That'd be really cool to see. Here they have a 3 energy Claw Slash, and then for 4 energy, 3 steel, 220, discard 3 energy from this Pokemon. So you're really pairing up a big attacker, right? Like, again, when we're looking at these cards, we're not necessarily looking at like this HP and these attack numbers per se, just because like this is for standard TCG and like their health and attack bar is much higher than Pokemon Pocket. I feel like I always have to say that when prefacing and looking at these videos, but they help us when it comes to putting a name with a picture when we're like looking and thinking about different Pokemon. But like this idea of like, here's a 3 energy attack, here's a 4 energy attack, you have a more clearer pairing with a Dialga, regardless of what these numbers are, and so maybe that's like a cool mix here, because Dialga with Solgaleo currently doesn't really make a lot of sense, but having like this like big attack where you're discarding 3 energy and then being able to retreat out, being able to pair this up, putting a Celesteela in there with this ability to make it be able to retreat for free back into the Dialga to then boost up its attack again, feels pretty spicy. So I kind of like this, and I feel like where Solgaleo is quicker to the ground, you know, like it's just 2 energy for 120. If this is hitting for 150, Blastoise does 160 when you get 5 energy, but this is 150 for Palkia, and they're discarding 3. I mean, this could be the Water Palkia with like this move here, right? So that'd be cool. That'd be kind of cool, and the fact that this is colorless is pretty fun. But again, for 60, I don't know if that would be enough. But, and then let's take a look at the Dawn Wings. They have an ability here. If this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch it with your active Pokemon. So being able to do that same kind of style with that like Solgaleo currently has with this like Rising Road ability. And then we have 3 Psychic. This attack damage isn't affected by resistance, 120. So maybe if we obviously don't have resistances, and then obviously weakness is the only thing that gives us the plus 20. Maybe this is a move that like does plus 20. I don't know. Maybe we just get the Moon Eclipse attack for 180. But 3 energy attack with a special condition here isn't affected by resistance. Isn't affected. Maybe if it treats Dark type as if it's super effective against as well. I don't know how they would code that, but maybe they do it that way so that way you can get advantage on fighting types, but then you get a secondary advantage. That would okay. We cook it. We chefing up a little bit. That would be pretty cool to see. I guess a second additional like a type advantage, and then no other card has that, so that's like pretty cool. So you can deal 140 to fighting and to dark types, which would be pretty scary for Dark Tina decks around, and I think that is kind of nice here. So yeah, I like, you know, just to start off this video, just like looking at more some Ultra Beasts, but then let's take a little step back here and being like, hey, what are some kind of cards that like should just kind of just pop in here just to like, you know, as part of like Gen 7, and just also just kind of like cards that like could just fill in some of the decks here that we're having. And so like one of the main ones is Primarina EX. There should be no reason why it doesn't have it. It's just a non-EX right now. We have the EX Incineroar, we have the EX Decidueye. Both are very strong cards. Both are very well positioned into the meta, and you're quite frankly, if you're running a fire type deck, your really big main picks, and then you like splash things here or there, or either Charizard EX and Incineroar EX. For grass decks, obviously you have Masquerada, but you're throwing in Decidueye a lot of the times here. And Decidueye is being one of the premier top grass decks right now. So let's give a little love to Primarina, and that'd be really sweet, especially because currently right now there's like no water decks in the meta, where the previous meta we had Dark Tina, we had Gyarados, right? Like those were just kind of like those top two decks that you kind of had to beat out. Even Gyarados is like nowhere to be seen right now, so giving some juice to the water type would be pretty sweet. This does 20 more damage for every water energy that's attached to this Pokemon, so obviously going off with Misty would be pretty cool here with it. And then Roaring Seas, automatically disregarding a opponent's active energy from an opponent's active Pokemon. I like this effect. I like this effect a lot. Grand Echo GX, heal all damage from all of your Pokemon. Maybe, okay, well, we have the ability where it can heal 30 for water Pokemon on the non-EX. So maybe if this is like on this last one here, can only be used once, is fine. Like heal all damage from your Pokemon. So you're using Bubble Beat, you're attaching the waters, you're getting all the Bubble Beats going. Use Roaring Seas for the effect one time when your Pokemon are all low, and you build that up. You hope that they don't have Sabrinas or Cyruses, but like that's actually kind of cool to kind of like mix this into here. So this discard, because we have a 1-all heal all for everybody, and then that'd be pretty kind of nice. I like that. Maybe that's too OP. Let me know down in the comments below. I would also love to see Espeon come into the game. We got in Leafeon, we got in Glaceon. I would love to see Espeon in here. The 1 energy Psybolt, 2 energy Psychic, 40 more damage for each energy. Currently right now we have, it's 60 and then 30 for each energy, so probably this would, if it's just 2 energy, it could be 40 plus 20 per energy, so that way it's just kind of chill. Maybe you call this like Psywave or something instead of calling it Psychic, because Psychic on Alakazam, on Bronzong, on Alolan Raichu are all Psychic for 60, so for translating this to Pokemon Pocket, that would be the case here. And I would love to see Umbreon as match pairing. What other fun way to introduce Sun and Moon when you literally have like the Psychic and the Dark type here, the Sun and the Moon kind of Pokemon. They both fit that kind of theme here as well. This does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. That's great. For 1 energy is a lot. I don't know if it's, maybe it's to your bench, or maybe it's like less energy here, but for 3 energy your Pokemon can't attack. We've seen that around here, and there's a lot of effects that you can do, especially if you notice with the Ultra Beast with Celesteela. You can always bring it back out here, like you retreat with Umbreon into the Ultra Beast, Celesteela puts the Ultra Beast back into the bench, Umbreon goes back up front, and then you attack for 140 again. So that'd be pretty cool. I don't know if it's gonna be 140, but like that'd be pretty nice. Now, these are the 2 like EVs that like I would love to like see come into this new set here. That'd be pretty fun. Obviously, if we get new evolutions, we probably get a new Eevee card, but we have so many. But you know, the Pokemon Pocket loves their Eevees for some reason. And then I think now would be a fun time to dip into a little bit of Gen 3. Okay, we have some Mons scattered here or there, so like why not just kind of like throw some out there. And I think the Pokemon I'm about to go over are not like you know, some like there's one that you're like, yeah, that'd be really cool. That's like a fan favorite, and then there's some other ones where you're kind of like, it's weird, but like that's just kind of like how Pokemon Pocket picks mons. You're just thinking to yourself, how did that make it into the game over some other ones that are in the gens, even though there's not a dedicated gen one or a dedicated gen for them yet. So that's how we're kind of like looking into this. So first one, we have a Breloom, stage 1. This is actually a fighting type, so maybe Shroomish is grass, and then we have a fighting type. What's really cool about this piece is that you still need grass in order to attack, but then it's fighting damage. So kind of like, I don't know, this like, I saw this and I was like, I thought this concept was really cool of needing, this could still be in the grass decks, but you're attacking, you're super effective against electric instead of, you know, whatever grass will be popping up against with some like water or whatever the case may be, or rock types. So like, that's cool. One energy spore, no damage there. I think that makes sense. And then this Pigeon Strike though, so if they're asleep, you get to do 90 more damage for 120. Maybe it's like 30 and plus 40 or 50 more damage. I don't know if you're gonna get this whole like 120 here in Pokemon Pocket, but I like this, like, let me put you to sleep first and then do that, because your opponent can always get the heads there. Your opponent can always be running Pokemon Center Lady. There's Big Masuda now that heals you 10 and cures all of your Pokemon special conditions. If you're running Psychic, you could have Comfy in the back. Those last two aren't as common per se, right? Like, you'll definitely see a lot more Pokemon Center Ladies everywhere else. However, you know, they're in the game, they're counters. It could happen. If we see distinct prevalence, you have options to go against it. And then I like this Masquerain here because I really liked this effect. Move an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their bench Pokemon. So you're not discarding, but you're moving things around. And I wonder if this is good or if this is bad. Because like, they don't lose the energy, but they're not doing their plan that they're supposed to be doing, but their bench Pokemon do want to set up, but you get to choose, right? Like, it doesn't say random. You would pick where the bench goes, and I think that would be fair, because in I wouldn't want it to be random. I think you're having the choice because you're the one who's doing the attack, and I think that is a very fair trade, especially because the damage would be lower here because you're mainly using this for an effect. We don't have an effect like this in Pocket. I think it would be pretty cool to see how it play out. It might just be one of those novelties where you try it out because you're trying out new cards, and like, you see it once and then you don't see it again. But it could be spicy. It could be spicy. And then the last one from Gen 3 that I think that like would be pretty sweet to get some hype and then introduce the full like Gen 3 set afterwards is this Slacking here. If your opponent has no Pokemon EX in play, this Pokemon can attack. I think that's cool. I think that a way to like have the Truant in the game, so that way it's not attacking every single turn, but it's still very powerful. 2 energy, you're dealing a massive strong attack. That's awesome. You discard an energy from this Pokemon, which means you have to commit to the energy here. I feel like that's also really cool. But this ability as a huge drawback to then having a powerful one is really cool. Then that means you like kind of have to stay in the Vigoroth lane if you're facing a non-EX type of deck, or if they're only throwing in one. So I like this positioning into the meta that we have currently, and like would be really cool to see this being a fun counter to play. A stage 2 EX for Colorless would be like pretty sweet to see on top of that as well. So those are the Pokemon, y'all, that I like to see introduced into the game. And so let's go ahead and dive into some items. But what do you think of like those other Ultra Beasts? Do you think that they'll make it into the game with, you know, the Necrozimas, the fusions? Do you think that they'll dive into other gens as they go in here? And most importantly, will Primarina get an EX? or should we just forget about it? But so here, like, let's give It's an Ultra Beast. It's an Ultra Beast set. So let's just give Ultra Beasts their more support. We got stage 2 support, and like they went on in. They gave us a supporter, which we got a supporter for. Lusamine, and then they gave him a rare candy all in one set. So like, let's see the focus here. This beast type, the attacks of the Ultra Beast that this card is attached to does 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon for each prize card you have taken. So essentially, you get to do plus 10 if you've knocked out a Pokemon. You get to do plus 20 if you knocked out 2 Pokemon or you've gotten 2 points. So I think that's pretty cool, being able to scale here, but then it's no more than plus 20. And at that point, if you've already knocked out 1, you're already losing some damage. You're only allowed to attach 2 Pokemon tools. Now, this would be scary with like Kartana, where it's just like 1 energy attack for 40, or Pheromosa for that 20. You're essentially dealing 40 per turn. That's also, it could get a little wacky, but you know, we have red, so you can attack plus 20. We have Giovanni, you can attack plus 10. This only works for Ultra Beast, and you have to be in the lead in order for this to be working. So I like it. I think this will go in any Ultra Beast decks that you're running for sure. But like, you know, let's have a little fun with it. If we're gonna introduce it, go all out. And same thing here. Well, let's get a Beast Ball. I don't know what this would be. Like, you may reveal an Ultra Beast you find there in your prize cards, put it into your hand, and put this Beast Ball in its place. If you don't reveal an Ultra Ball, put this card in discard pile and shuffle your face down prizes. Maybe it's just like, you look at your top card. If it's an Ultra Beast, put it into your hand. If it's not, put it at the bottom of the deck and then shuffle. Maybe we treat it like a Mythical Slab, but for beasts. For Ultra Beast. Actually, boom, bam, done, like that. So you look at your prize down cards. I think Pokemon TCG Standard has 6, so maybe you draw 2, and then you can change the no. I think you just draw the top one. Keep it simple. Mythical Slab that has Psychic, but this is looking for Ultra Beast and Ultra Beast only. We have that in there. We make that work. We keep it moving. Ah, that feels so good. And the last item here, another Pokemon tool for anyone, is this retreat cards for this Pokemon card is 2 less. I just feel like maybe does this mean we won't have Leaf anymore? I don't know. I feel like Leaf is still plausible. We are now getting so many 4 retreat cost Mon or 3 retreat cost Mon where you'll still need an additional little love here with either X speed or Leaf in order to keep the energy, and like keeping energy on your Pokemon when it goes to the bench is super important, so you could always pivot and then attack again. So I don't think like Leaf is gonna be out of the game, and we have a prime example of where these cards are like working together, for example. So, or maybe you can already see like it's like this in the game, but red card to Mars is what I see like Air Balloon is to Leaf, right? And so maybe you could say the same thing. The X speed is already that to Leaf. So I don't know. Let me know if you find that something like this is needed in the game, but I think it would be really cool to be able to attach something like this. I like it. I like the two less. I'm all about it. You could always Cyrus things right back up, and I guess they could just retreat again for free because it's not being used. I don't know. But I liked it. I was looking through the cards. I like Air Balloon here. Y'all let me, and then, you know, this is one of those things where it's like it could happen. And then I'm gonna add like these last cards are like these tag team cards. These cards got introduced with the Sun and Moon set, and so what better time to put them in Pokemon Pocket than as like a chase card? Like, we don't need 50 of them. Like, this could just be in there. They're like their normal 3-star or whatever, or 1-star, whatever rarity that you'd put them in, because this is like a full art. But like, why not? Like, why not? They just get 1 attack and it goes in here. So like, here's Solgaleo and Lunala here with Lily. Like, that would be pretty sweet to see into the game. And then we can get the Ultra Beasts in there as well too. And this is like perfect for both sets, because those are like those were your the Pokemon that were on your art for your packs. Like, literally, You had the Solgaleo pack, you had the Lunala pack, and you had Bug Buzzes like on the Extra Dimensional. So it'd be pretty sweet to see the team up here. The tag team up in the game, and maybe again they have so much more room to obviously print cards, and so they obviously don't need to. But even if they did, just even throwing in just one and then waiting to put down on the line later, it would be pretty sweet. This is kind of like how they did shinies, where you could just do that, or maybe they just have a full tag team set. I don't know, it'd be pretty cool. Maybe if we have an A3B, we can get like some of these cards in there. But yeah, y'all, let me know what y'all thought of like these collection, this mashup of cards. Are you interested in seeing these style cards into the game as well? And then what are you looking forward to most when it comes to this new set that's coming out this Thursday? All right, y'all, can't wait to read your comments. Until next one, peace.